Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today I'm checking out a 2023 Golf R. This vehicle is sitting on 235/35 Bridgestone performance tires, wrapped around 19-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has a high-performance braking system with ventilated and cross-drilled rotors here on the front and ventilated regular disc brakes in the back. The name of this color is Lapis Blue, and it's kind of like an electric blue or whatever. It's a really nice, impressive blue color, especially for a sporty car. Now here in the front, quite a bit of gloss black in addition to the body color here. So you can see even all the way to the bottom, all this is a gloss black here as well as here. Now you notice it doesn't have fog lights. This is utilized for cooling on both sides. There's parking sensors integrated in this black portion here and here on both sides. There's also one here on the side, on the very side of the vehicle, integrated into the blue color. And it has the, there's the badge, and then it has this light that goes all the way across. You got to see it in the night video. The daytime running lights and the different lights here in the front are really impressive. Now it has an LED projector headlight system for the low and the high beams. They're auto leveling as well, and it has cornering lights that are they shine from the inner portion of the headlight housing. Looking at the profile, I really like the hatchback style. This whole hot hatch style, really impressive, especially this one. I've had a 1988 Golf. I mean, I've had a Golf a long time ago, really enjoyed it. And so I've always had my eye on the new Golf when it comes out, and even the Golfs at the time were pretty cool. So this one, it has the body colored side handles, and you notice that the bottom portion, there's no black or anything there or anything around the wheel wells like in the front, that gloss black. Now there is a gloss black pillar here, so when you, not if you, tint the glass here on the sides, definitely a must on this type of vehicle. It'll kind of solidify that glass into that gloss black portion there and look really cool. Now it has like this metallic silver upper portion of the side mirror. Kind of stands out, doesn't really match, but it's fine. This is what the key looks like, and once again, gloss black key, has the R on the other side. It doesn't say Volkswagen anywhere, but it does have the R and it has the chrome on the outer portion. It's kind of a sleek key, relatively easy to carry around with you. Just a little bit, has a little bit of weight to it though. Has the lock, unlock, the ability to unlock. Now this one doesn't have the power trunk, but it does have the ability to unlock that from a distance. Like you say, hey, tell somebody to get something out of the back, you can unlock it for them. And then it has a panic button here. Let's go ahead and press that. Pretty cool horn, pretty good horn, nice and loud. But this is a full proximity key system. You don't have to take this key out of your pocket. You can keep it in your pocket in a bag, as long as it's within a close proximity to the outside of the door. You can lock the doors by placing your hand or finger over the sensor right here, indicated by that little dimple, and it senses the key, locks the doors. To unlock it, you simply put your hand behind the handle, and it has a sensor back here, and once again the key has to be on the outside of the door, and it unlocks the door for you. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Here's the inside of the passenger side door, basically all black except for the handle. Now this upper portion, that's like in a soft injection molded material there, and then right below it, it looks like a carbon fiber look to this, kind of like a smooth plastic. It's not, there's no texture to it. It's completely slick and smooth, but it kind of looks like they're going for a carbon fiber look. This is soft. The rest of the door is a hard touch plastic. Now this is, this passes through here, so you can, stand something tall up in there or use it for a handle, is what it's mainly designed for. And this right here is like a felt line compartment here. Kind of feels like a tennis ball, that kind of material. And it's pretty good size, very useful. There's the threshold. There's no fancy sill plates or anything. And the passenger seat has a combination type seat where the back portion, you can tilt it using the power button there, but the height adjustment and the moving the seat forward and back is manual. Now these are heated and ventilated seats. You can see it has nice large perforations there, with the blue on the inside of each perforation is looking pretty neat. And then you have the blue piping here on the outside, and then that more of that carbon fiber type look here on the outside. Now these are significantly bolstered seats, but they're not intrusive. Typically like a Recaro type seat or a racing seat, they kind of get uncomfortable because they squeeze you too much. These are about right, perfect for me anyway. They feel good. There's the floor mat, and it snaps in place in 2 places there. And decent amount of legroom here on the passenger side. We do have some tapering here on this side, but it kind of shifts over a little bit, so it's not a big deal. There's a little net pocket there for the passenger to utilize. A non-locking glove compartment, pretty decent size, and the spoiler for the night video, it does have a light in it. So you have more of that carbon fiber looking stuff here, and then a kind of rubbery, soft, non-reflective dashboard. Now you notice that the front door, lots of room getting in and out. Plenty of headroom, just overall easy to get in and out of. The swing of the door is good. The back door, the swing of the door could be a little bit better, but it's not too bad. Lots of headroom there, lots of headroom, but as far as the bottom part, a little bit of a squeeze to get in there. Not a big deal, but I just want to point that out. Here's the inside of the back door. Now it's a similar styling, with being all black, but it doesn't have the carbon fiber, and it's hard touch pretty much everywhere except for right here, which is like a vinyl type material, and it's kind of matching with that. But the rest of the door, hard touch surfaces. It does have the felt line pocket though. Much smaller threshold area getting into the back seat. Now you'll notice that this seat is kind of in a normal position, a little bit forward, leaning forward. I forgot to mention this seat does have the lumbar adjustment there. It's just manual. But you notice that, see, even with it in that forward position, the leg room is kind of limited as far as the knee room. But look at this seat over here. This seat is all the way back. So this is a big deal as far as if you're really tall, then you're not really going to have somebody sitting behind you very comfortably. Now you could put a car seat or something. And these seats are not perforated. They do have the carbon fiber look to them, and then it's a solid material there. Armrest with cup holders. Now this does have a pass-through as well. So the center part can fold down and you can pass things through, longer boxes or whatever. It does have the car seat attachments, and it has these that kind of swing down, and you can attach it and then they swing up. So these covers are not removable, which is good because you'll lose them if you take them off. That's what an issue that I've had in the past. But you notice that the floorboard goes down there quite a ways. There is a significant hump there, but the fact that the seat, your legs can go down into the floorboard quite a ways kind of helps out with the overall comfort. It's more like you're in a chair. And on the back of the seats here, I don't know if you can see this, it has a pocket, which is kind of normal, mat pocket or whatever, but it has these smaller pockets here and here. So you can put your cell phone or whatever, and it's really easy to access them. It's on both front seats, which is pretty convenient for the rear passengers. Also, you do have heated seats back here, as well as climate controls as well. And there's 2 USB-C charge ports. So they know that the rear passengers are playing around with their phones and stuff. So go ahead and give them the ability to charge their phones and places to put them, as well as a tablet, I guess. Fuel door is here on the passenger side, and it has the traditional cap, tether, and actually has this little post that you can put the cap in to get out of the way while you're pumping gas. And also putting it there makes it to where you don't forget to put the cap back on, because it's easy, if it's hanging down this way, it's easy to close the door necessarily if you get distracted or whatever. I've seen people do that. and it does require premium fuel. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, it does have the shark fin antenna in a gloss black here at the top center. And check out this spoiler, this rear spoiler. Kind of pops up a little bit and has some gloss black in it. There is some airflow as well. And this is where you'll find the LED third brake light right there at the top of the glass. There's also a rear wiper as well. LED taillights, complete LED, reverse lights, turn signals, everything. You can check out my night video. And then the parking sensors are here across the back, integrated in this blue portion. And then we have the quad exhaust. Now it's divided up at the muffler, but it does have the quad exhaust here, and the simulated diffuser in the back. Now the camera, the backup camera, is actually located underneath this emblem, and it pops out when you put it in reverse. But you can also use that emblem to open up the trunk. So you push forward, and when you do that, it releases the trunk. Now the camera is not visible right now, so you're not going to accidentally touch it and smear it and get it dirty or anything. It's only when you put it in reverse it pops out. The underside of the hatch is a hard plastic. Be nice if it was carpeted, at least there on the bottom where your cargo is going to be touching. And it does have a place for triangles to go, but it doesn't have the cover on it. I don't know if they'd stop putting a cover on it, or they just don't have a cover on this vehicle. But anyways, there's a place for the triangles. There's also a handle right here for grabbing it to pull it down as well. So if you have all the seats occupied with passengers here in the back, this will be your cargo space. It does have this removable shade as well. It lifts up a little bit, kind of gets out of your way. And pretty decent amount of space. So getting groceries, carrying boxes, picking up stuff at the store, pretty adequate. I think it's pretty good. There is a bag holder there on right here. There's one here on the right side. There's also some tie downs on them on the front and the back here on both sides. 12-volt power supply here as well. There's only a single light, and I'll show you why that's a problem when we get in the night video. It could be way better, really. Now there's this right here is just kind of loosey-goosey flopping around cover, so it doesn't really it's not secure, right? So in an accident, this is gonna fly out and move around and tumble like tumble around like a dryer or whatever. So anyways, that's the floor to the cargo area, and you can take it out. You just grab it and you just pull it right out. And it's a hard board. There's the subwoofer, but you notice there's no spare tire. There's some tools there, but there's no spare tire. Now, part of the reason is because this has the oversized performance braking system, so you can't just use a donut spare tire. You have to have a tire that is able to fit, the rim is able to fit over those braking system. So if you want a spare tire, you have to get the appropriate one, and then you have to literally, just take that cover out and just take up more space back here to carry it with you. It does have a tire inflator kit. And I noticed there's some comments in some videos that, the tire inflator kit is never demonstrated, right? Now, all it is an air pump. Start it up, you just press and hold the brake and push this button right here. Start it. And it does have two different exhaust notes. So when you put it in race mode, it has a subtle change in note. And I like the fact that it's not too loud. I really like that. Nice little tiny change, not a huge, ridiculous, annoying change like some vehicles have. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Floor mat snaps in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, and footrest in a raised rubber sporty look. Let's take a look under the hood. Now the hood latch is right here, and when you close the door, it covers it up so you don't accidentally release it. To open the hood, there's a latch right here in the center right here. You just reach in and move it to the left, and then you can lift up on the hood. So you can see the latch right there. It does require a prop to hold it up. So there's the prop, the yellow prop, and it swings up to that arrow. You notice that the hood actually has two catches. So there's one right there and one right there. So it, you know, secures the hood nicely instead of just one in the center. There is a little bit of insulation on the underside of the hood. There's also seals across the back of the engine compartment. This helps out with noise and airflow. Also, the firewall is almost completely insulated, and it has a lot of heat shielding back there because this is a turbocharged engine and the turbo is located right there. So there's a lot of heat buildup back there where the exhaust is located. So there's a 4-cylinder engine. You can see the 4 coil packs here. Intake is here, that plastic portion, and then the back is the exhaust. And so you notice that the air box is bringing the fresh air to the back, to the exhaust area, because it has to go through the turbo before it can be brought to the actual intake of the vehicle. So it's set up like a front-wheel drive vehicle where the engine's this is the front of the engine, that's the back of the engine, the transmission is located down there. And so, you know, set up like a front-wheel drive vehicle, but this is an all-wheel drive vehicle with torque vectoring. So it does a really good job of sticking to the ground and staying glued while you accelerate and corner and everything. It's just so enjoyable to drive. And there's the battery that's easy to get to. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. So there's the door lock controls, power window controls, side mirrors are adjusted there. Now the power windows are one touch up and down. So you can just press it and it goes down. It's not a laminated glass or anything, and the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert indicators on the inside of the mirror housing here. So that way it'll illuminate when there's a vehicle in your blind spot, and it kind of separates it from the reflections of the glass, which is nice. So the driver's seat has 3 presets. It also has an entry and exit mode, and it's a full power seat. There's the lumbar adjustments, the ability to raise, lower, tilt, move forward and back the seat, and then tilt the back portion as well. Heated and ventilated seats. Has the blue piping, perforations, and then it has the R embroidered in the back of the seat. You can see that blue on the sides of the seats as well. Now the steering wheel is a tilt and telescoping steering wheel with the lever to release it and secure it right there. I'm sitting in the driver's seat and I'm 6 feet tall. I have the seat all the way back and all the way down to give you an idea of the potential legroom here. Now there's almost no room in the back seat, but if you're tall, you can still drive this vehicle, no problem. So this is a little bit too far back for me. The knee room, leg room is all that is fine. I hadn't had any issues with driving the vehicle, being uncomfortable, that kind of thing. The seat has enough adjustments to where it's fine, and the overall comfort of the seat is good. Now it has slight bolsters, but they're not intrusive. They're not, you know, squeezing my body and getting in the way or whatever. So overall comfort is fine for me. And the steering wheel has a good thickness, and it looks really nice. The thickness helps out with the, basically like when you're gripping the steering wheel, it's not like digging into your bones or anything. So as you can get a good grip on it. Now it does have these protruding grips here and here that sometimes get in the way, but it does give you a, you know, good firm hold on the steering wheel. Here's flat bottom, and has the R with the blue right here at the bottom. Just kind of a style that separates it from the other Golf vehicles. It also has the R right here as well, and that will take you into the drive modes. So here on the right side, you can see it has a heated steering wheel. It has different views as well. This bottom portion here and here is for the radio. So there's the volume for the radio and change to the tracks. Now you basically just take and slide your finger across here to adjust it. Now these buttons are soft touch buttons. They also, you can press them, you can slide them, different things like that. And they take a little bit of getting used to. It's real easy to accidentally press them. So it's real easy for me to accidentally press that heated steering wheel, and then all of a sudden the steering wheel's hot and I didn't know that I turned it on, that kind of thing. And then these buttons here correspond with the screen, which is the gauges as well. Here on the left side is the cruise control. You can set it, you turn it on, you set it, resume, and then you change your speed here. Now, if you swipe up and down, it gives you 5-mile-an-hour increments, but if you press the plus or the minus, it gives you an individual 1-mile-an-hour increment. Now, you can turn on and off the steering assist, which works really good. It's not too intrusive. It doesn't fight with you. It just works really good. Same thing with the adaptive cruise control. It works great. I mean, there's no speed bumps. There's very little speed bumps anyway, as far as like, you know, usability. I think just the touchscreen, if you don't know what you're doing and you really have to practice with it, these little touch pads and stuff, it's a little bit different than physical buttons. But once you get past the learning curve there, then they're fine. They're easy to use. Turn signal indicator, or that's the windshield wipers. Turn signal indicators over here. There's a little shortcut button right there for so you can turn on or off some of the safety features. It pops up here, right there. But the gauges are basically, it's just a screen, and it looks really good. And that's customizable colors. The ambient lighting is tied to the screens as well, so I have a full night video, so you can check that out. Let's go ahead and just cycle through the views here using this view button, so you can see the different views. It has kind of replicates traditional dials, and then you have the map there for the navigation map that goes in the background. This is pretty interesting because as you're driving, it'll show lines right there, and it'll show a vehicle that's in front of you. So this is the lane keep assist, and then the adaptive cruise control, just visuals on that. It goes to that one. So I'm just pressing the view button and resting on the one that I want. So that's a really cool sporty one there. It goes back to that. So if you press this R button, it switches to that view, and then it pops the screen up. So it puts you in race mode, but you can use this R button to simply just pop up the drive modes and choose the one you want. You don't have to have the race mode all the time, but it is really handy because the way this vehicle is, the way it drives, is basically the race mode is like the way it's designed to drive, and everything else is just kind of dumbed down or limited in my view. So when I'm driving the vehicle in race mode, it just feels like that's just perfect. The shift points, the acceleration, the handling, the steering, everything just comes together in a perfect driving experience as far as this type of vehicle. Excellent dual clutch transmission, and just great. Don't even care to use the paddle shifters. The shifting is better than what I could have, you know, the shift points are just perfect, really. Now the climate control, you do have to press this button and it pops up here on the screen. It's a little bit, I'm not really a big fan of this particular climate control. There's some issues with it. It's either I'm always hot or I'm always cold, or I'm constantly having to fiddle with it, and it is just not that easy to use. You know, the fan, when I put the fan on automatic, it's just blasting constantly, and it's just really annoyingly loud. It never, even when it gets cool in here, it's still blasting air, and it doesn't really like settle down. Now, if you want to turn off the start-stop feature, you have to pull from the top. You can do it there. You can also change the dark mode in here as well. There's the different views there. And then there's a little slider for the volume, and then slider for the temperature, driver and passenger temperatures there. Look at the navigation map. Now there's a couple speed bumps here as far as usability. So it gives you these kind of useless screens. So like right now, what are we supposed to do here? like if it doesn't have anything, it says no destination suggestions available. If it doesn't have anything, why am I here? Why is it bringing me as the default screen to this destination suggestion screen? You know, when I hit navigation, why not just take me to the map? Because at the map, I can always search. I can always go to contacts. I can always do that anyway. So why bother with that useless screen? Same thing with when I go here to media, it gives me this useless screen right here. So why not just go to this screen, which is the actual play screen where it shows the album art, it shows what's playing and all that stuff. Why does it have to default to this useless screen first, and then I have to make an additional step? It kind of adds these odd speed bumps. I don't know how to explain it. It just gets in the way sometimes. And so it's not always like that, but there's a couple places in there it's like they do need to refine the system a little bit better. Especially considering, you know, there's a learning curve with all the touch and swipe and all that stuff. And then, you know, adding stuff like this, it's like, well, you know, it just seems like it'd be designed a little bit better. But overall, I mean, it is a good system overall. And then you got this climate control. Now the climate control, once again, is kind of a weird situation in which when you hit climate right there, you don't have the front and rear defrosters. And you don't have them here either. They're over here with the light switch. So the light switch has the front and rear defrosters over here, which is kind of completely disconnected. So if you didn't know that, if you didn't pay attention to that, you'd be looking all over the place for that in where they're supposed to be in the climate control, or next to the climate button. Have them down here or something, but have them completely disconnected over here with the headlight controls. Seems odd. Now it does have the USB-C ports, a wireless charge here. Now it doesn't work with my case. I had to take my case off. Now it depends on what case you have and the thickness and all that stuff. Now here's the shifter, and there's the start button, park, and then here it's like the electronic shifter deal, a little place to put something here. About now, so pushing it forward will put you in reverse, and it pops up the backup camera and the parking sensors and all that stuff. It also shows you what gear you're in there, and you pull down on it gently to go to neutral, or you can go fully pull it down on it to put it in drive. So I actually have it in sport mode, but I can toggle to drive by just pressing it down again, and it'll show right there what gear you're in. All right, so if you want to go into park, you can just always push the park button. Now when you don't have the automatic stop start feature, when you don't have that turned off, when you put it in park, it's just going to turn the engine off. And the climate control's powered by the engine, so when it turns the engine off, you're sitting there with no air conditioning or whatever on a hot day. It's not fun. So what I found is if I jiggle the steering wheel, if I happen to be in that situation, I jiggle the steering wheel, then it turns back on. The engine and the climate control turns back on and all that stuff. Electronic parking brake is here. You just lift it up to engage it. It does change color. It engages the rear wheels, and then you hold the brake with your foot and then push down on that to release it. There's the cup holders. Has this little guy right there that kind of pops out for holding a smaller cup. 12-volt power supply. There's the armrest. It's kind of rubbery soft. And then this opens up. Here's another thing that's a little bit annoying is this opens up, right? There's just a little storage compartment in there. But if you just lift it up a little bit and you're like, no, I don't need to go back in there, I don't need to open this up, you try to push it back down, well, now it's ratchet. It's a ratcheting armrest, so you have to go all the way to the top, then you can put it back down. So you release it, and then you can lift it up and ratchet it to where you want and lift it up as an armrest. But you know, you have to know that it does that, and you have to it kind of forces you on that procedure of going all the way up and then all the way down before you can put it back down. Has an auto dim rear view mirror. And then up here, the lights, you just tap on the lens, turn them on. Now if you tap and hold them, then it'll go to a dimmer mode. You can let go a little bit dimmer because they are quite bright out there, full brightness. You can turn on all the interior lights here. You can turn off the feature where it turns on the lights, interior lights when you open the door. If you want to turn that off, you can do it there. And roadside assistance as well. This is for opening up the sunroof. We'll get to that in a minute. And you have roadside assistance button here. The visors are like a black vinyl wrapping, unlike the headliner, which is like a canvas, like just regular cloth, I guess. It does have a clip here, mirror with a light. It does slide out. And this is sometimes a little bit hard to release it. Snaps in there good though. And the way this slides out is that it slides like this, right? But there's still this, you know, the sun always is right there or peeking through here. It doesn't really have the best coverage here on the side, but it's decent there in the front. Okay, so the sunroof. The sunroof has a shade that covers most of the light, but not all. I prefer to have the 100% coverage myself. Let's go ahead and open that up. Now this is there's no button, it's just a swipey deal here. So let's go ahead and swipe back on it. Swipe back again, brings it back a little bit further. Swipe it forward to close it. And then you just press in there in the center to lift it up. And then you press it again to close it. Looking at the visibility there in the back, you can see that the pillars are a little bit wide, and they also kind of join together with the headrests. So, and there's a center headrest. So there is some limitations as far as just turning around and looking, or looking over your shoulder. But I hadn't really had an issue with the visibility. I mean, I'm used to having those wide pillar in the back. I mean, the Dodge Challenger had a terrible blind spot back there. That's one part of it. But also this one has the blind spot detection system, rear cross traffic alert, the front and rear parking sensors, backup camera, and all that stuff to help out with, you know, driving a vehicle safely. So it's not, hasn't really been an issue.